The kind drinks themselves now with the drink, itself the help for make mental health problem big small bits na the country.
Abiose Duncan Keyon say for make the mental health sick go reduce na the country. The Ministry of Health and Sanitation for train more mental health nurse them.
Una help we for train more mental health nurse. Una give we the kind kid that we go help them and the kind lily salary we go make them sit down and the work. One for big una give more attention to mental health nurses. If una get funding, they are we big. Una not just look at physical things them, una look at things that we na mental. Because it is a nation building in terms of productivity. Waiting 19 nurse go do to a population of over 7 million. If we get for do well, now let we not work the nurse then they so themselves die before them term. Inside we on advocacy, we they talk to the big one them when our government, but through we go say we sababu uncle or auntie when at the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. For say una don't do well. Right now they don't do the policy and strategy, they don't sign them, they left for lunch. But we they say for right stand there it's fine, but now for do it in the inside. Self one for big them say if anything get for do well, the environment get for account for that. So thing like the legislation, when are the mental health legislation, if fine for we look down one day back because then they nine go give it stronger foot for the way we they do.
The Executive Director for Action Salone on Health and Education, Dr. Ishmael B. Kamara, say where government they change the Mental Health Act, therefore change the name from Chrisman Act to name we go disabled friendly.
The Lunatic Act we been there, it was developed in 1902. Certainly the word lunatic should be removed from there. It has to be something like appropriate word, and making sure that when the act is reviewed, therefore change the word lunatic to something else. So as I say now that government, because the minister we will get now Dr. Alpha Ruri, get passion for improved mental health situation of the country, and so is actually outcome of getting a policy in place. And so that is why organizations and today they come together for see how we can put heads together and find ways and means for make we improve mental health.
People will be attend this workshop get this for say.
Dr. Abdul Bangura, the country director of traditional medicine, traditional healers, Republic of Australia. One of the things where I don't learn collaboration and also integration and also referral. The referral, in fact, this is a cases where we don't begin 4 years back because we don't find out cases and day at least we the conventional doctors like the Kisi teaching hospital we at least not going to handle. So what you can normally do when we at the first point of contact with people where we find out say we diagnose you see no we have no not getting the traditional attention we send it to the conventional doctors.
Claudia Duclair, I'm from Liberia. The media have a serious role in this thing in mental illness. Mental illness basically is everyone's business because some way somehow you sometimes every human being gets depressed at certain time. But
Paul Kaikai from the Mental Health Coalition attached to SOFMA, Service Users and Family Members Association. One thing I learned and would like to adopt here is peer mentoring. The very fact that those who live with the experience, when once they come together, they are able to share information and knowledge is being widened and we acquire a lot of information from them.
My name is Benjamin Bara. I'm from Liberia. We have learned how to engage stakeholders, how to engage policy makers to do more for mental health. You know, mental health have been at the back always, but we thank God for the workshop that we have learned that mental health need to be prioritized.
Then people here end up call on the Ministry of Health and Sanitation. Now then different country them for allocate 5% of them budget to mental health. As they say, they self get rights for benefits from government budget like any other kind posting them. For the Society for Radio Democracy, you know Kabia the report.
Salone Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile App, you can able for use Salone Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Edsalite pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You no need for worry again, but almost money dey na you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salone Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go na Salone Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
We dey continue with the program Good Morning Salone, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Where they bring the program come to you this Monday morning, Mina Khadija Bangura
and Mabel Kaba.
We still get Moses Kamara in the studio, Public Relations Officer for the Salone Judiciary. We talk about concern them where people get against the judiciary. Mr. Kamara, the opinion of people them about the judiciary, it clearly shows say people not believe the independence of the judiciary. For example, one opinion survey where the International Republican Institute do this BNTM where they publish, it shows say 28% of Salone people now then get trust on the judiciary. We clearly shows say 72% of the people not trust the judiciary.
Well, I'm not preview on that survey day, and I strongly believe say somebody who can do survey, consult the institution. But notwithstanding that, let us say you get an institution where for several years people don't they bash at them based on their own baseless ideas, then they use the bash at them, but notwithstanding in able to survive and has grown to that point, we believe say there has been a public trust. But let me tell you one thing. Me tell you say with database they show we say we they get cases them besides the criminal cases them we pull sometimes police will go arrest and charge. People who willingly they can at the court, you understand. We see there has been increase in that number of cases then where people they can at the courts for can seek justice. Now a pointer for tell we say we are independent and people then get trust in the judiciary. And the rate at which we deal with cases then expeditiously is also another manifestation, you understand. And the issue of saying we have been to prison, the Honorable Chief Justice we see him visit the prison, Usai inmates them where they wait for indictments for several years. We through a prison court system or an habeas corpus application, we see they get them released. You understand? It's also for tell you see the judiciary we need to look into colors, we need to look into region or whatsoever we are serving the people and with the display justice. And we strongly believe also back with more education because now for let people they understand. And I tell you say one of the educations that we'll get for engage on is the fact that cases then the loss either by the case, the nature of the case where you get or the commitment of you lawyers. And we want for even educate people in that issue of saying where I lost this case now the judge, a message given by lawyers to their client and litigant, we want for see how best with the stopper. But notwithstanding we own data, we own information, the show say there has been increase in public trust on the judiciary. Let me tell you one thing. The people in Waterloo, then they demand to the Honorable Chief Justice that they need another court within York. If they not believe in the judiciary, then they request for an expansion. So many areas and the way people they request for expansion. You get the people of Kailaun they request for an high court for let him be na Kailaun. So because people are requesting, we are getting letters, we are getting issue of complaints. When people then get issues, you see they won't come to the judiciary. Now a pointer for say people then believe in the judiciary.
Because they not get option.
How you go say people they not get option? Maybe if you slap me, I slap you back. It's not an option. But if you slap me, I say no, let I go report. That is to tell you say I get believing. Say it just sound like picking. You understand? Like me picking now you knock him. And go say at the wait, let me daddy come, I can lodge complaint. It's simply because the Pekin believe in daddy. So if people are demanding for expansion, even though they tell them say we are scarce, you understand? Then people then the demand for expansion is a pointer for tell people and say there has been increase in public trust.
So Moses, how you go change somebody who believes say in perception where it gets now that the judiciary don't they use judicial precedents them for take decision as certain case them?
Well, the use of precedent not to anything way wrong in law. You understand? You can use precedent for take certain decision. You understand? So it is not wrong. But let us say the question maybe could.
So you say it is not wrong according to law, but at the end of the day, you say on want to give justice to people. Certain precedents the way some people can don't take na courts. Una can repeat and back. Where una no say can get bad influence to the country as a whole. The judiciary can regret.
I not ever feel say besides the TRC report we indict the judiciary. I not ever feel say the judiciary, be it civil or criminal decisions there or judgment that we don't deliver, we don't put this nation into threat. No. You understand? Absolutely no. But rather with decisions that we don't take, even issues that we related to politics, election in this country, the decisions that we don't take don't help for ensure say we get things that we're credible, we get processes then we tell people and say you should observe processes then, you should not involve into anything where they create doubts in society, and we'll continue to take those decisions in accordance with the law.
Moses, apart from the Republican Institute then survey we then do make mention of, we should say now only 28% of Sierra Leoneans then get trust in the judiciary. Again, one other one we come out 2018, the 2018 Afrobarometer report itself clearly shows say Sierra Leoneans them not get trust in the judiciary.
No, in fact, the 20 Afrobarometer report I preview with them and I beg for differ, because in the tell we say the judiciary get 56%.
Yeah.
In the tell we say the judiciary get 56% in terms of public trust. Before it was 23, but we moved to 56. So it tells us that simply because judges not get the opportunity, or the judiciary not get the opportunity for educate the public, but when they create the office of the public relation, we begin educate the public who then are we, waiting with they do, and waiting at the things that what they do and how we they take with action. We see for the past 3 years to now there has been a shoot from 23% to 56%.
So with this
and
56%,
we even beat some institutions them. You understand? Mind you, with the critical decisions the way we they take, we beat certain institutions in this country. I recall in that report, out of from the president's office, we can to the vice, we can to I think there's an other institution, then you get the judiciary. That's giving the confidence, besides we own personal data, that's giving the confidence that there has been massive increase in public trust. And that one is undebatable because it's a fact.
With the 56% as a public relation officer for the judiciary, you confident say una they make inroads in gaining public trust?
Obviously, we are making inroads and gain public trust.
All right, continue for the with the program. In name now Moses Kamara, public relations officer for the Salone Judiciary. There this morning we talk about concern and other issues them where people get against the judiciary. We continue the program, and now they look at one per we other headline story. Them also the director of planning, interagency relations and strategic communication at the Office of National Security (ONS), Francis Langoba Kelly say ONS don't not say tribalism and national politics and be responsible for the plenty violence will be inside the Waterloo Edman by-election campaign this being term. Francis Langoba Kelly talked this after one meeting where ONS, National Electoral Commission, NEC, and other body them all with community stakeholder them now Waterloo community for talk about the team them will be responsible for the plenty violence inside the Waterloo by-election campaign where be this being team. Well, we reporter Musa S. Kamara be part of this community stakeholder meeting, and he go now report.
People go remember say May this year na be the term for the Waterloo Edman by election, but this election not be old. As before the day for the election, Office of National Security (ONS) be asked the National Electoral Commission (NEC) for tap this election force, so they then look inside the reason for the plenty violence with people na the Waterloo community been done they complain about where they say they be for sake of this election. for sake this make Office of National Security awareness with them partner them meet with the candidates them for this by-election and stakeholder them na the Waterloo community. Francis Langoba Kelly, na Director of Planning, Interagency Relation and Strategic Communication, na Office of National Security. He talk more about this meeting.
During this time, with district security committees, we don't meet them. They try for de-escalate tensions, meet with them at one-to-one community level. But today, we find out Law can get a very grand meeting, and where this comprises of all the security sector heads. Law can meet all the stakeholders, the candidates, community stakeholders, opinion leaders between Waterloo and environs. So you see, saying a high-level delegation come from ONS, NEC, PPRC, chairman, we all can have for can get stakeholders meeting with them and get frank talk. Let everybody blow mind, waiting at the facing at the cause and how we will resolve them.
As the meeting set the stage for make people talk about waiting the ambog them for sake of this election, make Francis Langoba Kelly say, from the blow mind them, make Office of National Security Fenot say, among plenty reason, national politics and the issue of tribe. Now some of the issue them will be responsible for the plenty violence with people na the Waterloo community. Been done the complaint about where they say they be for sake of this election.
Well, of course, one thing we will notice, this question of tribalism is still there. Now the underlying factor. You're not countryman, you're not Creole man, blah blah. This question of political interference, especially from the two major political parties, SFPP and APC, they will support candidates on both sides. That will create problem. Of course, see the question of cliques and gangs, where them politicians they use for can cause problem. The question of lawlessness among the youth them. I mean, some of the things and that will really come out from the discussions you said they say. This high level of political intolerance where parties then get, is still white, green and red. It still affects the election.
Even though they not fixed date for this election, but according to Langoba Kelly, you know go say again, then go put them for this election and self say stakeholder them go work by the agreement where the candidates and other authority them don't sign for, like zero political color by the election and other thing them.
Timeline based on discussions who they get. Well, they watch the security environment. Still, we they watch them for them couple of days here. I'm not going to tell you say na tomorrow or na next tomorrow, but rest assured it will be done soonest. But of course, you see, we climax and with a communique. That communique, all the parties then sign. We'll talk say they all for disease from using any particular way the campaign. They all for be law abiding. That the security sector will hold anybody responsible. You even see the chairman of PPRC, Abdullah Bangra, we say they go engage the heads of the SNPP and APC, now Freetown, engage them for let them try for understand, say, these are non-partisan elections, parties are not for be involved, so everybody for go about a normal business.
Inside Iyon talk, the chairman for the Western Rural District Council, Kasho J. Orland Cole, call on authority them for tap rally anytime where this election gets for old back. As he say, this now one of the reasons them were responsible for the plenty violence we've been be during the election campaign.
When next go to the elections back, because we get Section 20 of Local Government Act, we have powers there. We don't say we don't want no rally in our job. We don't want to go campaign inside host to people where election can go vote. Because find out where they rally Sunday fete, they rally Wednesday fete. And we set the shame now when they tell Waterloo who are this list. Very, very embarrassing.
I talked to some of the candidates them for this Edman by-election. We tell me what's in the makeup of the meeting and how they plan for work by the peace agreement where they all don't sign to.
Me and Leslie Osewenzul, one of the aspirants for the by-election for Edman and Waterloo. Me support because all along I preach no violence, no abusive language. I support and I appreciate what ONS don't do and other authorities that they had this morning, what they don't do. And I pray to Papa God, let Papa God bring we all together and unite we, let peace reign at Waterloo.
My name is Elizabeth Betts. I'm a contestant for Waterloo Village. Well, the communique way aside, this is something we don't abide to all the time, even before they make we can document with signatures there. So for me, this is part of my campaign. I've always been a peaceful person, and I intend for keep the peace and make sure that other people then keep the peace as well.
As this meeting of a Fenway solve the reason for the violence at the Waterloo Edman election, community people hope say this go solve the problem and save this election go hold just now for help reduce the tension where they say they been at the community for sake of this election. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa S. Kamara.
Better don't come, better don't come. a Union Trust Bank again. Union Salone Bank, oh. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get waiting you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, there. We branch and they all up but not alone. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala Freetown loan sa, we dey. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na Salone for me and you. Union Salone Banko, Union Trust Banko.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
The program Good Morning Salone, they continue, and we come back to the studio guests, being at the Public Relations Officer for the Judiciary, Moses Kamara. They are this morning, they respond to concern them where people be done the raise but then work. So now, Moses, let we can look at the recent judgment where the courts been given against the All People's Congress member of Parliament then regarding the petition case where some SLPP people MP them being carried na the court for the past 1 year. Firstly, from where that judgment they be to now, the response don't they come from the public. How did judiciary take them?
Well, we with me role in monitoring the media, the social media, the traditional media, I just feel say you get mixed response. You get some people where they talk about respect for the rule of law. You get some people where they talk say Party A was not treated fairly. You get some people who they feel say Party B was treated fairly. You get some people who they feel say, well, we did do work, and everybody gets their own view. So we get a mixed view. But it's like from my own view, when we don't monitor, and even if we go into a page, you go see when people they tell we say is a good job. You go see when people then they tell we say people must respect the rule of law in this country, and we stand by that, and we strongly believe say even though we get a mixed feeling, you understand. Some are praising us, some they say we not treat this fairly, some they say we not treat that fairly, and that is why recently we discover say in as much as there has been concern, because let me tell you one thing. Initially, there was a press release that first came out from the opposition, and later the ruling party. You understand, the ruling party. Then later from other rights-based organizations. We decide for come out with the figures then. We decide for come out with a response now simply because we want to maintain integrity and independence. We cannot respond to political parties, you understand, but we inform the public. So since we discover, say, the public has been misinformed by rights-based institutions then, by political parties then we feel, say, now if we respond, we need to respond only to releases by political parties, but we respond also to releases by put forward by rights-based organization, where some of them they not be get any time for contact the Office of the Public Relation, where the judiciary don't create as a form of an interface between the judiciary and the external public. Not consult we, but people then they go and write press releases then. People then they go and interpret judgments where they're not privy to the judgment, they not get the issues then on either the evidence then will lead to the judgment. And that is why we are not defending, we are not responding somehow, but we are informing and educating the public there where we oblige for inform and educate.
So in line with that, let me just start firstly for make and clear, because this again are other thing where people we don't get, according to a misunderstanding we say people they get from different people where they talk, but within the judiciary been do. Let we look at the timing for this case. The court take over 1 year for looking to them before they finally arrive at a decision, compared to the 4 months waiting at the constitution say then for take at least for looking inside such kind matter. Why the delay?
Okay, let me just tell you this thing. The time we're in camp, we do agree, say there are lapses, you understand? Lapses in the sense they are not by our own making. And there are certain times, then gap they are not by the making of the judiciary. It could be the making of the lawyers then. Okay, let me look at the time, even for other judgments then, you understand, besides petition judgment, other judgment then by constitutional provision, there are stipulated time. But let us look at this. Now, on the side of the judiciary, let us look at how many judges we get. Let us look at how many cases then where they come inside. Like for every day, besides the existing cases then, like for every day, they get not less than 200, 300 or 400 cases then, we just they enter into the magistrate level. How many magistrate then we get is a constraint. And there are certain times, let me say this, Kajija and Mabel, and there are certain times when we raise issue of constraint, those who are in power, that has the mandate, the power for help, for provide we need them, then they provide them. But when issue raised up, then begin look at provisions. We tried we best. Let me tell you one thing, it came at a time when even the petitioners then, at a point they abandoned the case.
Moses, apart from the delay of judgment on this particular case, will be supposed to take 4 months, where it drag over 12 months. The way again how the ruling been go, say if the person where the sitting member of parliament lost in seat, automatically the court give ruling say the second person for take the seat. Now one way plenty people see again say na breach of section 146 na the Public Elections Act of 2012.
A very good question, but let I just say this thing. Is a question where, because I'm representing the institution, I don't want to comment.
Why?
Why? Simply because we expect, or there is a room for appeal from whosoever aggrieved. You understand? So, and no one can say it is right or wrong.
But at this particular side, Moses, we don't they see people and don't they come out. Lawyers, them, for example, Ibrahim Tomi don't come out, don't challenge the judiciary, say they're not being use the relevant section them for Gida ruling and save them breach that particular section they were just quote. So apart of that, they say the way how then give the ruling say the second person for just go and assuming sit in a parliament.
This is the unfortunate thing about lawyers, you understand. When people think when a judgment is delivered, your own opinion, nobody not get the eyes then where a judge gets, you understand, for see them things then they. Now you they present your issue, this they presenting issue, and the judge they look at them 2 issues then they, and present your case, you present your case, the judge they look at them, and the judge they do further research about them things then they, and come with conclusion. Everybody where they do a presentation now waiting in think, and we want to say the media is not the court of appeal for any judgment, you understand. If people then think say the judiciary, the only room where we get for challenging a judgment now for go through an appeal process, you understand. So somebody can make a statement here, because I'm representing the institution, I cannot say this is right or wrong. But if the aggrieved parties or the parties then in the issue they feel say they are deprived or they are aggrieved, there is a room for appeal, you understand. Every court is a court of appeal up till the Supreme Court, you understand. If you come out if they deal with traditional issue, the magistrate court could be a court of appeal. But if it is a formal issue, a magistrate court give a ruling, you're not satisfied, you know they can appeal into the media, you appeal into the High Court. If the High Court give a ruling, you're not satisfied, you appeal into the court of appeal. If the court of appeal give a ruling, you're not satisfied, you go into the Supreme Court. So that is our formal structure. So whether it is right or wrong, I cannot say it. Whosoever is aggrieved for use the formal channel.
You talk about further research where the magistrate or judge then can give before then they can go through before then they give them final judgment per case. Now this case where they look at where now the latest one the judiciary don't give, taking into consideration the further research where you say the judges then do. Whose research they will go change the fact say judge don't right say they nullify an election, but yet that same election, the way they don't nullify in judgment, it make the second person take the position of the first one where it say dollars in seats.
As still they say, is an issue of challenge for people them we feel say that decision could be wrong. It could not be an issue of challenge for people that we feel say in right. But I still repeat, whosoever feels say in not right, that decision is not right, then come to the courts on an appeal. That is what we are saying. We want let people then left this issue of discussing institutional mandates. Can the media can talk?
But
we are making
public go continue,
yes.
But
So
certain things
no.
are clear from the judiciary, like how you there so you make certain things clear. As you said, we don't say press release, they don't come out, all man don't interpret in your own. But today you get the opportunity now for talk to the people. We don't see them different information than they. Now we get the right person at the right place for tell them say X, Y, and Z wanna be here, not to so, not so it be.
Now the issue of that declaration, when people then feel say they get an issue, are still one for say on this. If people then don't, you know it's not the happen at this country. People don't create, we don't allow people then they get them way. To the extent that if you wear pink, then they say you not this. You wear green, then they say na this. You come on at this place, then they say na this. We cannot allow ill-gotten people there for drag the judiciary into that thing. We are saying we have made provisions. There is a provision in the Constitution about the structure for aggrieved people that if you think you are not happy with the judgment, you should appeal. And we are saying, my message here is that whosoever will get concerned about the judgment that has been delivered, come to the Court of Appeal. Come to the Court of Appeal. And when you come to the Court of Appeal, journalists will cover the process and they will report.
Apart from the appeal, Mr. Kamara, let we look at another issue where the opposition get concerned, but then concerned at that then self make petition immediately after the March election during the same time way the SLPP make their own petition. But up till now, they don't able to allocate judge them for look inside their own over 30 petition cases where they make. But the one the way the SLPP make, they don't allocate judge, they don't look inside and they don't give ruling. Why the delay for allocate judges to the opposition their own cases so they make?
Okay, let me just say this thing. The issue of assigning cases is mandatory upon the Chief Justice. You understand? Me go through the release of the All People's Congress Party that 32 petition cases were not assigned. This is the fact. In fact, 3 of the cases from the APC were assigned to judges. But let me tell you one thing, we get 31 cases that were assigned to judges, and this is not the breakdown. We get from the, let me say from the assigned cases then, from APC we get 3, from SLPP we get 23, from NGC we get 5. When you calculate them, and give you 31. Now, these are cases where they go through the process. The process in the sense that if you want to pull out the news to the external public, you get the journalists where they go out for go gather the news. You understand? Where it come, una get for editor, una package, and una disseminate. It is a process for letting news go out. You understand? So much don't play behind the scene. So we are saying for these 31 cases, they went through petition cases, they went through the process as prescribed by law, and they were assigned to judges.
So then cases they get judges then?
Yes, then cases they get judges. But you say there is a statement in the release of the All People's Congress that they give 32 petition cases and they were not assigned. In the first place, a full petition cases where we receive is a total of 31. That's the breakdown I give.
But Mr. Kamara, if you say then cases that they don't assign judges them, why we see this BNTM, the Sierra Leone Bar Association, pull a press release, also then they call on the Chief Justice for assign judges them to the case there so that everybody could get access to the judiciary?
Well, it is also on the side of the bar that they not even consult the judiciary. Let me tell you, let me just use time and briefly go to this thing. Now, when we if you watch at cases, we get cases then where they abandoned by both political parties. You understand? Mm-hmm. They not come in as petition because they started the process at a point they were abandoned by both political parties. Maybe that's the issue. And that is why we are making it clear to the public. Now, we get 22 cases then besides the 31. We fully go through the process, then serve the parties them, then pay waiting them for pay, and they were assigned to judges. Right. But besides the 31 that were assigned to judges, you get 22 when abandoned cases then. And in that 22 when abandoned cases there, so if they will not have been abandoned by majority by APC, they would have got something like a huge number also. Now, for instance, 9 cases were abandoned by APC in Kenema. You understand? They start the process to a point, they just left the document at the registry. And they did not follow up the process for taken to a point it will be assigned to a judge. Then 12 in Bo were also abandoned by the APC, whilst 1 was abandoned by the SLPP.
Moses,
so a total of 22.
Would they come back to you? They can continue for look at the petition cases there. But quickly, let's look at one per other headline story them. Outside the International Monetary Fund country representative na Salone, Dr. Iyabo Masha say if Salone attract foreign investor and maintain international obligation, them the country forgets over $400 million na them reserve bank. Dr. Iyabo Masha talked this inside one interview with Radio Democracy, where they talk about the economy and the worker. We member them from the International Monetary Fund can do na Salone this BNTM for sake of the extended credit facility where IMF they implement na Salone. He talk more to Musa S. Kamara inside this interview.
From the IMF standpoint, last year the average growth rate for the sub-Saharan African countries, as I mentioned in the report, was 3% in 2018. Some grew by much less than that, minus, Zimbabwe grew by minus, contracted by minus 2%. Maybe big economies like Nigeria, Angola, and South Africa grew by only around 2%, but Sierra Leone grew by 3.5% in 2018. So that is already above the sub-Saharan Africa average. The outlook is that growth will go on to maybe 5.1% or something like that, which will be much better than what we had in 2018. And that is because in 2019, the new investment coming on board, one of the iron mines is restarting production. Some agricultural investors projects are coming on. So we expect growth to be, the outlook for growth for 2019 is good for Sierra Leone. But there are challenges on the financing side because of the huge debt overhang, and there are also challenges on the response of the government to some of the developments in the exchange rate.
2018 it was 3.5. You are projecting that the 2019 figure might be 3.5. Am I right?
No, 2019 it's going to be 5.1, and that is because in 2018 there was no iron ore production. In 2019 we expect some iron ore production because one of the 2 mines that closed down has resumed production, and in that regard you are talking of more employment, you are talking of more taxes, you are talking of more foreign exchange inflows. So that is a progress. That is what we want to see.
A team of IMF members was in Sierra Leone. What was the rationale?
The team that came here, the purpose was to assess the performance on the extended credit facility program. There are 2 assessments made every year, and this is the first one for this year.
What were the findings?
The finding is that the economy went through a lot of challenges in 2018, which, as you can see from the modest growth rate. But in spite of the challenges, the government implemented some policies that did not magnify the problem. So, for example, there was a shortfall in financing. The the domestic financing that would have money that would have been borrowed from the banking system to finance the budget. And so the government reduced some of the expenditure categories rather than take on more arrears or implement programs that could not be financed. And then on the structural side, there's still some areas for improvement, like on some of the legislations that ought to have been passed. On the revenue side, the government exceeded the revenue target. They achieved about 14% of GDP when just a little bit above the target. So those are relatively good performance. There were some of the program targets that were not met. There were some reasonable reasons why they were not met. So for that reason, the IMF will table the approval request to the board sometime in June.
What are your recommendations to government regarding the economy?
There's need to make faster progress on expenditure reforms, reforming the whole expenditure framework, and being able to have a more transparent implementation of the budget in several areas. The other issue is the management of arrears and to stop accumulating arrears. When governments accumulate arrears, they are preventing the private sector from having the resources to spend and enlarge the economy. And then on the reserves, it is important for them to be able to accumulate more reserves rather than spend the costly reserves trying to engage in routine auction. So that is an important issue, because at the end of the day, before investors foreign investors determine which country they're going to invest in, they want to see how much reserves the country has.
If these recommendations are not implemented by government, what do you think are the impacts on the economy?
If there is delay in implementation of policies in general, what we see is that it results in slow growth, and with slow growth, then you are talking of lower unemployment, lower capital accumulation, and lower quality of life.
You said if the reserve is low, sometimes investors might not choose to go to that country. In the Outlook study, do you look at the Sierra Leone reserve?
Sierra Leone has now about 3.2 months of imports of reserves. Over the program period, by the end of the program in 2023, that could go up to 3.6 months of imports. Now, in general, investors want to see at least 3 months of imports of reserves, because that is a signal that there is enough reserves for a country to be able to meet its external obligations. And Sierra Leone is already above that.
3.2 months of import as Sierra Leone's reserve. Converting this one into monetary term, what is the worth of the reserve?
In terms of how much that is in dollar terms, 2018 it was $483 million worth of reserves. So in 2019, by December 2019, we'll be talking of about $500 million worth of reserves. Yeah, so by 2023, the reserves will be 3.4 months of imports coverage. That is, the country will have enough reserves to cover roughly 3.5 months of imports. Investors are looking for 3 months of imports. And that, in nominal terms, translates into around $600 million worth of reserves.
That's now Dr. Iyabo Masha in the International Monetary Fund IMF then country representative na Salone. They talk to Musa S. Kamara inside that interview. They also say if Salone attract foreign investor and maintain international obligation, them the country forgets over $400 million at the Reserve Bank. We will continue with the program, and quickly we will take this short commercial break.
They're causing confusion.
But this confuse me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in World Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid, and at the same amount of cement and sand then they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use, and that's na Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement na the highest grade cement in the country, when a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na online shop and building material store na the one whole country.
The program Good Morning Salone, they continue with a look at other issues of the program. Also, the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform and Olavali don't say government they lost about $50 million every year in the fisheries sector. We make it ask government for make civil society and the media join other stakeholders them for monitor illegal fishing in the Salone water. And Olavali talk this inside one interview with Radio Democracy for one national consultative conference where the movement against inequality hold with fishermen them and other state actors them this BNTM. Also, it talk inside this interview with Mohammed Sharif, but begin for talk first. But the reason them will be make their only conference.
Because Salone waters, they loot big with a loss over $50 million every year by illegal fishing, and that they make the gap between the rich and the poor, the wide every day.
You say Salone they lost about $50 million every year. This is based on research we don't do.
Well, this is now based on what government say. And in fact, Thabo Mbeki in your report way on illicit financial flows in raise up to $50 billion every year with Africans and the loss.
Looking at the amount we say Salone they lost, and now una don't get a national consultative conference. What's not the focus of this conference?
Well, basically now for try for find out ways where citizens can support government for track illegal fishing. So now that make this conference bring together fishermen there from Tumbo, from Bomf, from Yeliboya, get actors the way they come up from GFC, where they come up from Maritime Administration, from ONS. For there we get more waiting our citizens their own idea about how to stop illegal fishing.
What's not some of the issues them will actually come out based on the discussion at the conference?
Well, two things where they puzzle people then. That one, why Sierra Leone get boku Chinese in our water there in the light of illegal fishing? When they talk say illegal fishing too high, then they give too much license of fishing our water and Chinese there. So the conference they look into that. The second thing, the government they do a lot of monitoring. Waiting at the role of the media, waiting at the role of civil society for ensure say they monitor waters. We gladly say government on green cam a device ways at the level of the minister and KBC run at the office for see whether they can water for can fishing. But if finally devices be open to the public. So the more we get more and more people and media, civil society, they join the monitoring of illegal fishing, the better it can be.
So now that now call or now that's the essence of the conference?
Well, that are one of the strongest call with the conference they make.
Looking at the illegal fishing where you say Salone they lost about $50 million every year. Looking at the measures them same way so we say government or they put in place. And but still, illegal fishing they carry on. What do you think say government through the Ministry of Fisheries actually need for do for cut down the kind of money where Salone they lost?
Actually need for review what they end now with the industry. At the moment we get over close to 70% of the one that they do industrial fishing in Sierra Leone na Chinese boats then. So we find for law we know waiting then they do. And if I let every Sierra Leonean they know waiting then they do. Just imagine $50 million. $50 million every year. If you inject $50 million in Tombo, you change Tombo. If you inject $50 million in Yeliboya, you change the condition of Yeliboya. Not to play money down there. If we stop just illegal fishing, we need to talk about diamond, we need to talk about gold, the poverty in this country rates will reduce.
Mr. Lavali, as much as the movement against inequality in Salone, now then actually don't call up this national consultative conference, we don't bring stakeholders there, now the fishing industry for actually can discuss about some of the things them where they feel say actually don't they make the country they lost plenty couple. Why you think say illegal fishing still they carry on? Is it because of the implementations of the law, or not because of the ability of the government for actually monitor some of the issues there based on maybe una research or based on una engagement with other stakeholders there?
Well, basically in a collusion. For we not able to enforce the law, it means the one they wouldn't enforce the law, either they don't want to do them or they get incentives the way they make them do them. So now that make we call broadly For the more and more people are involved in the monitoring and oversight, the lesser the one they will feel say no, this one I for be, and if we not monitor now in we interest or not for monitor, the more then they go stop. So now that make the biggest call with this conference they make. Let civil society, let media actors them. We now all join the monitoring of illegal fishing. That will help the one they wait the one waiting to go the win a suspect they go check them a little bit.
After this conference, waiting get for be the next step.
Now engagement. We dey engage government through the Ministry of Marine Resources. We dey engage ONS, of course. The MISA chair with Charles Lahai, they engage ONS vigorously. The MISA team itself, MISA na a network we include boku organizations. Them. Within the network they do now for create more awareness. Let them know within the loss, and they know say that this and the loss. And government you need for take action for let we left for loss with the loss. So the action really na engagement or with government, na engagement with all these relevant institutions there, including the Maritime Administration, ONS, for let we begin for get more people involved in monitoring of illegal fishing.
That's now the Executive Director for Institute for Governance Reform and Ulava Libi. They talk on that interview with Mohammed Sharif.
We dey continue with the program Good Morning Salone, and now they look at text message where people don't send na the program this morning. The first one where I go read, they say honestly people must learn to say the truth irrespective of what one believes. Where were they when former VP Sam Sumana and 2 SLPP seat cases were sent out of court and CSO never stood against it? They come out from Amara Alpha and Freeton.
This other message said the supremacy of the law should be observed to save our future. It come out from Jabati Jawad.
This other one, they say the man from the judiciary is struggling to defend the wrong decision made by the judiciary. One of the main reasons why we went through the 10 years bloody civil war was the judiciary. We are now experiencing the same, even worse, under this administration.
Medjal on our Facebook say we are obeying the law. That doesn't mean we trust the judiciary, Moses.
This other one, they say, how can a judge declare the entire election of a constituency void, which means all the votes cast are void, but yes, pronounce the SLPP second man as winner? Also, if you see the judiciary coming out to defend, it tells you that they have messed up.
This other message say, how can he say the judiciary is independent while the Chief Justice is being appointed by the President?
More messages we don't come at the program this morning. This other one where they come out from NZ Amana or Facebook page. They say constructive criticism of the judiciary is welcome, but criticizing the judiciary without any basis will harm the system in the long run. Those who criticize the judiciary should be responsible and make specific criticism backed by real facts. The dream of the deprived section of society for equal opportunities in education and employment has remained a dream of the poor. The constitutional guarantee of the society has also remained a dream for the poor. It is responsibility of everybody to ensure social justice, political and economic independence to the people.
Thomas Aaron Leroy Kuroman on Facebook say, please ask the spokesman of the judiciary, why is it that case files and documents get missing mysteriously in the courts, thereby denying justice to most plaintiff and complainants?
More messages we don't come na the program this morning. This one they say, Moses, please answer the question with oath on the Quran or the Bible. Can the judiciary make laws as said by Gevao on AYB on Sunday? Please quote the act if yes. They come out from CC Right.
The final one when we go look at this morning because of time, the person say, Mr. Kamara, don't you think all this injustice are the root of the problems we have in our country?
Alright, from their messages, then they quickly listen to Wakabot, then we'll come to Moses Kamara from the judiciary for respond to the concern them where people don't send at the program.
Late for school no more. I don't begin to see some Monday. They late no good no bad. And I told some government office is dirty. Some man not the paint. I tell some man not the paint. I tell Minister of Youth Affairs. Who say oh me na the honorable Wakabot.
Well, from Daddy Wakabot with the Canal to studio guest Moses Kamara for respond to text messages then.
Let us just make something swiftly clear because we don't get allegation on that. We want to let people understand. See, you talk about assignment. Most of the cases then, or all besides the provincial cases then, where the masters then are they assigned to a judge, and in the province, in the case of Bo, Kennyman, none of them cases then they ever assigned to a judge because they not go through the process. Also, we want to let people know, say the then Chief Justice, the Honorable Justice Abdullah Amicham, now be assigned all them petition cases them. What happened when Justice Edwards become Chief Justice? Because Justice Alusain Sisi was promoted to a Supreme Court, so he reassigned in cases then to Justice Combat Commander and Justice Momoja Stephen. We want to let people then get that clear. We also don't get some text messages them. Somebody talks say we come for defense, even though we get most of the messages, then we affirm and support the actions that we will take with respect to the rule of law. But few then come with somebody say we come for defend. No, we not come for defend because we integrity not there at stake. Most people they support and they tell we thank you for what we do, but we come for inform and educate. We responsibility with the inform and educate, and that is what I'm doing here. Not to for can defend because of this accusation or not. Also, somebody say because the Chief Justice now in the appoint the judicial the president now in the appoint the Chief Justice, then in the question the independence of the judiciary. Now let me just say this: the president appoint the Chief Justice no mean say the president now in the describe waiting the Chief Justice for do like a job description. The function of the Chief Justice and the role of the Chief Justice is embedded in the Constitution. The role of the judges then is embedded in the Constitution. Not so like when somebody go appoint you like for 98 when you can't begin work, then tell you say that this you for do, then they are the Constitution. So in other words, the Chief Justice, even though appointed by the president but approved by the people of this country, because in they go through parliament then vetter and then starting to say yes it fits for be, and we see the current Chief Justice like just like any other Chief Justice we then go through that process day. So it not mean say that will determine whether the judiciary is independent or not. And besides that, besides as an institution the independence of the judiciary, every judge where they deal with a case, they look at her independently. Neither the CJ nor any other superior judge go say this is what I want you to do, and it happen. So, and somebody also talks, say, well, yesterday it was an issue whether judiciary they make law or whatsoever. I think the question is whether judges' their action can be considered as precedent. The obvious answer is yes. Somebody talk about the issue of injustice. If we feel say no to indicate with problem in the country, well, as far as saloon concerned, problem not in a saloon. Problem not in a saloon. And let me just let people know this. In good governance, demonstration is part of good governance. People for demonstrate, people for praise, people for it, and all of them things that there must be a space created by government for the people to exercise them things that they.
Even though you say problem not in a salon, but now also aware that the judiciary say plenty people also they cry for justice where they go to court, commodity come say they're not satisfied with rulings.
Well, satisfaction is not evidence. You understand? You know they cancel because you carry with case now which you want in for B. You understand? No, when you carry with case, because you carry with case, you say that they can look at this case. And when decisions are taken or judgments are delivered, they are not delivered based on what you want. They are delivered based on law and evidence. That's one we get forget and clearly. If you come with a case, you say this person slap you. That is one thing where I just want to make clear. If you say this person slap you, maybe in the scene indeed the person slap you, but if you not get anybody wait for can prove before the court say this person slap you, what do you think the court should do? So that is what we call evidence.
What think can happen again, Moses, where for example two people get the same case, two different people get the same case in a court, but at the end of the day judge can get ruling when are two different ruling for same case.
It's not easy less same case than they. Now it's not easy. Now, like for instance, if I choke you now you act, you understand? I take nef, I choke you now you act. Then somebody na both take nef in choke. It not mean say because the case then they also choke na the act na the same punishment. You get other things the way the law can look at where the people they don't know. You understand? Maybe who side the nef be the way you take you choke. If be they close to you. Or waiting the person do you when you choke. All that they determine the range of punishment. But when people are not know when the punishment is delivered, they say, hey, this person in choke, then give him 20 years. Then the other person in choke, then give him 5 years. So the situations then can be different. And at that people are not able to understand.
Quickly, Moses, from where the High Court give ruling on the 16 petition cases of the APC MPs them to now, don't they see press release upon press release, people, everybody they give in your opinion about the ruling. What in the judiciary learn from this criticize where people don't they criticize and ask question about on independence?
Yeah, we learn say it's like we are very, very strategic, and until we say there has been many eyes on us and people that don't they get confidence in we. You understand? For me, that's the good thing about it. Because equally, the people and we itself, we see a lot of people and we they praise we. A lot of people in we Facebook page, we don't get over 15,000 people in. We don't they comment, and if you go through it, they discover say people and they praise the work of the judiciary, and they talk about it, they encourage you say, let we stand and portray the law. Because if we live in a society where law is not respected, it will be an anarchy wherein anybody go behave as he or she likes, and we cannot tolerate that society in this country. We're not going to create a room for that.
All right, thank you very much, Moses Kamara, public relation officer for the Salone Judiciary. We come to the studio this morning can respond to issues them where people don't raise this being team. Well, now then the program Good Morning Salone for today's edition. Now Alex Lawrence Koma and Michael Sambola na them produce the program. DJ Lavalangi with technical support, Moses Kavora and in team, and they make una watch we live now Facebook page. And to all with Facebook viewer them, many thanks for una comments and messages them way una send na the program. So to meet back, Mina Khadija Bangale say have a lovely week.
And Nebel Kabadi say goodbye.
Radio Democracy 98.